Greetings guys, hey, welcome to your November reading with me. Taurus, this is your reading, so welcome. Welcome to all new subscribers and thank you for joining the channel, Team Celestial. It's wonderful to have you here. So as we jump into the energies of November, yay, some might say, because we're heading towards the end of 2020, which has been a very formidable year in many ways. We come toward the end of it and sort of heave a collective sigh of relief, I suspect. But we're not out of the woods yet. There is still some hard slog to go, not the least of which are the upcoming eclipses that start in November. So a little bit of information about that, the November astrology. Mercury stations direct on the 3rd. We have the beautiful 11-11 portal, obviously on the 11th. We have a Friday the 13th, and on the same day Mars stations direct. We have Neptune stationing direct on the 28th of November, and on the 30th we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini. Now that is the first of a pair of lunar eclipse. The second one is in December on the 14th in the sign of Sagittarius. Now the eclipses this year so far have been incredibly intense, and I suspect that these two will also be intense. They're going to lead us into some pretty high frequency astrological lineups that are set for December as well. So that's leading us into a fairly potent beginning for 2021. Not quite as big as the event that started off this year, which was the Jupiter it's a new planet, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn lineup in Capricorn. That seemed to set the tone for this year. So it's not as intense as that, but we are still in some feisty energies. So I think being prepared is a good place to be, and knowing that things could still pop up that might create global tensions or create change. We're definitely on the cusp of an amazing change that's coming collectively for us all. There's more about that in different videos. But for now, we are doing your reading for November. And I did a little bit of intuitive work for you before we start your reading, and these are some of the messages you got. The first one was, it said you're a leader and that you found it, and have faith and believe. So if there's something about, for you guys, if you've been attempting to become a leader at something, whether it's at a personal level, even if it's leading within a family group or leading within a community, or becoming higher up in a job, or seeking a promotion, or leading in your exams, or something that you've been passionately involved in and you've wanted to do well. These are the messages that are coming to me, that there is success here for some of you. Some of you may well become leaders of something. So big groups, corporations, companies, policies or politics. There could be other things that you're a leader in, such as new ideas, inventions, concepts, things along those lines as well. So they're saying have faith and believe that it can be done. So if you're doubting it, or you're falling to a point where you're giving up on a project or a direction or a concept, don't give up on it. Keep going, because this sounds like there's some really solid foundation here for you guys to be achieving something quite grand. And I think some of your readings for the last few months have actually been fairly potent, and I've seen it coming through for the Taurans, and it's as if there's this background battery charge that's promoting some sort of positivity for you guys along the way. And if you're not in a position where you're feeling that positivity, again, don't give up. Expand your horizon, or expand the way you're looking, or see what you're missing, because there's something around that I think you can connect to that will give you an overall power charge, or give you more insight, or give you more expansion on these projects or things that you're working on, or directions that you want to head in. Now, one of the other messages you got, which is completely different, was sleep. So I don't know what that means for you. Are you not getting enough sleep? Are you needing to change the way you sleep? Are you needing more sleep? Are you sleeping too much? So for each of you, this will be an individual message, but it might be something to consider about how you are sleeping or how you are not sleeping, depending on the case may be. We will start your reading with these cards. These are the John Holland Psychic Tarot, a beautiful deck that encompass the colour frequency and the use of chakras as well. So this is for Taurus for November 2020, and I just was saying colours and chakras. So we're coming in straight away with the base chakra card. Now this is very much about foundations, grounding. It is like an earth energy, which of course this is your energy, Taurus. You're the earth sign, so this works really well with you. I also note it's the number one card of the deck, so it's a powerful card in as much that it's the formation of starting something. If you don't have your foundations right, then your projects are shaky, or everything else is not established as well as it could be. Some of you may need to have this base chakra opened. You may need to extend it or expand it. If there's a blockage here, this is where you will find a block in your monetary systems, in your home, and that could be your house itself. So there might be something wrong with your home that needs fixing. Some of you might have been trying to do renovations on it and you're coming to a stumbling block. Some of you might be trying to sell a home and it's not selling right. This could be because this base chakra energy isn't open enough and isn't vibrating at the right frequency. This can also be about your careers and your finances, as well as your family, your soul tribe. It's also about flight and fear and feeling grounded and feeling safe and secure. Now, if you need to expand on this or to clear this chakra and energize it, you can do that by wearing red, the color red, eating red foods, listening to red meditational frequencies that you can find on YouTube. You can also strengthen that part of the body with exercise, sit-ups, walking, burpees. There's a whole lot of different yoga moves that will also strengthen that base chakra energy. Some of you may even have a health condition that is prevailing around this area of your body, which is your hips, your thighs, your buttocks, your lower back, your abdomen, your bowel, any of those type of areas that may need help or support or nurture or care as well. Let's see what else is here for Taurus. Wow, see, fulfillment of wishes. And that's exactly what came through in the message for you guys when it said, have faith and believe you're a leader. And this fulfillment of wishes, it's an interesting card from this deck because he appears to be scholarly almost, or he or she, with a cap on and scrolls in her arms and this beautiful gilded treasure chest opening and this beautiful leaf about to flower and blossom. So there's so much providence and promise within this card, and it is about believing that there is a possibility that you can obtain the success that you're seeking. So that's two messages the same that have come through for you. Number 5 of Pentacles, the financial and material changes. It's not everyone's favourite card, and in traditional tarot it is a little bit bleak. It can actually mean that you have a temporary lack of finances or a setback in your financial sector. Sometimes if you're expecting payments or payouts or dividends or cash coming in or a windfall or some sort of loan, you might have a temporary glitch in this. It might be held back, it might be turned down. You may not get the payments you were expecting. But oftentimes this is temporary, and that it can be fixed with freeing up the area, which is the base chakra. So 2 of these cards are leading me to think that you need a little bit of activation in this area of life, and that it would be beneficial for you to work on bringing about positivity into this area, especially if you're having any trouble with your finances in any way, which, let's face it, a lot of people on the planet are at this point in 2020. The other thing that this can mean is sometimes a little bit of ill health, and it can be something like having a cold or a flu, or it could even be that you've fallen over and hurt a bone in your hand or foot. So sometimes it means going into the hospital and having minor surgery to help that or to fix it, alleviate the pain. But again, it's a temporary card. It's just a pain when it turns up. So let's see what else is in store for you guys, Taurus, for November 2020. Some of the other readings I've been doing have shown up to me that indicate that November could have something in store for us that we're not aware of yet, but I'm not 100% sure that it's all easy sailing. I think it's a global thing that comes in, and I haven't quite figured out what it is. I haven't been able to train my thoughts onto it yet. I haven't had time, but it's feeling as though there's a ripple that sends a bit of discourse through the air, and I think it affects a lot of people one way or another. This card is your major arcana. It's number 20. It's the Judgment card. The Judgment card is about big possible changes coming in, or you yourself becoming aware of something in your life that needs changing. So it's like an epiphany or an aha moment. Now it could be around these sectors of your life. You might suddenly go, I really do need to change something in my base chakra area of my physical body, or the aspects that pertain to it, such as my home or my house or my income or my career. And it could be a very powerful set of events that starts to take place that creates change for you. And then you received another major arcana, which is the Wisdom card, which is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is very much about doing things legally and doing them correctly. So there may be some, and you've got 2 5s in here now, so there may be some legal discourse over finances. Maybe there's something held up with the documentation or contracts being signed or offered to you. He also is very much about being connected to the higher realm, to the cosmic energy, to understanding the greater workings of life and the universe. So he sometimes can represent feeling very esoterical or very philosophical about life, and feeling expansive and more cosmically aware, because this is the card of wisdom. That's what that actually says down there, wisdom. So it could be that for some of you, you obtain this wisdom, which is kind of what the Judgment card is also like. You obtain this bolt of wisdom, and it might be through something that comes quite suddenly, or changes your opinion, or changes your direction in a sudden way. And it's like, boom, you've been hit by this realization that something must change. And for a lot of you, I feel it involves these 2 cards up here, which I've explained it. It's all about your home, your income, your family, your soul tribe, maybe that part of your body, your lower back, or bowel or intestines or stomach or hips or thighs. It could be anything along those lines. Here we have a beautiful card that's come out, and it's the Spiritual Union card. This is truly beautiful. It's the 2 of Cups. Now it's partner over here, if you like, the 9 of Cups, because these 2 are your Cups cards. They could be coming together. There may be something for some of you that a wish is being fulfilled in the area of a deeply committed relationship. Now this could be a love relationship, such as an intimate one, but it may be a commitment between 2 people in something like a business prospect, or an idea or concept that's being formed that may form a really strong partnership. And that may be even about spiritually based matter or subject matter, or even a business that's spiritually based, or concept, or like natural foods, or modern thinking, going along a new paradigm, if you like. That's where this whole believe and have faith may be coming in. For others of you, this could be like a twin flame, and I know we've talked about the twin flame scenario quite a lot in different videos that have cropped up. So deep soulmate commitments, twin flame energy. This is when, literally, as that card portrays, you are awakened to a deeper level of awareness and understanding of the spiritual nature of your soul's journey and of the life that you are experiencing here on earth. So this could happen for some of you, and it could happen through the intimacy of another person, like a union between another person. It may be that this epiphany or event that takes place, or the spiritual union, could be that the other person is in the spirit realm. So they're not necessarily incarnated here in the physical, but you receive a deep spiritual blossoming that could occur. And that could be from this. The Judgment and the Wisdom card could be part and parcel of a deep, spiritual awakening or understanding of the next level of your journey here on the planet. So there's a lot of different concepts that these could be tied into in terms of, is it a physical union relationship? Is it a partnership where a business could be taking place? Is it a love relationship? Is it more of a deep friendship that exists and the bond grows deeper? Lots of wonderful possibilities. Let's just do another one from this deck and then we will move on to a different deck. Well, they decided to give us two, so I guess we'll see. Another major arcana, this is authority, and this is of course the Emperor card. Now this can represent an Aries person, or timing wise it can be March or April, which would be next year. So that's not that far away in real terms, considering this is the November reading. So there might be something in here that's timing, that's talking to you about these events that could take place, could be for March and April. If they're not, we've got this authority figure who could be an Aries person who may be playing a role in this that's going on around here, or he may be playing, he or she, but often an older Aries type energy person, but sometimes an older male, could be connected into this scenario here, because he can quite often be an authority figure such as an accountant, a lawyer, a tax man, a loans manager, something along those lines as well. So there feels to me there's a depth of authority, like a weighted energy. You could say it was like a big corporation, you could say it was government even, it could be related to government departments like immigration, it could be weighted to government departments like health, so hospitals, health, law, legal institutions, signing documents, contracts, things along those lines as well. So let's have a look what this one is. Well, probably not the one we all wanted to see either for the end of these cards. These two kind of go hand in hand, and you can see there's a lot of hand involvement here. Interestingly enough, this card can sometimes represent when a relationship breaks up, and sometimes this is when the female of a male-female union decides to call it quits, and she can leave the partnership, leaving a male behind, and the male can feel quite bereft and left out. Now this card can also resemble leaving relationships behind. It doesn't have to be the intimate relationship, it can be a friendship or it could be a family member, but oftentimes both of these would indicate that there might be someone that you are considering moving away from at this point in time. It could be the other way around. It could be that someone in your life decides that it's time for them to move on and go somewhere else. This card can also represent heart issues. So again, it could be a health related issue, and we talked a little bit about that with this card. So you can see how they're tying in a little bit. Even though this is a swords card and this is a pentacles card, so different areas of frequency that they're coming from, but they seem to give off a very similar feeling. Sometimes this card can represent three people are involved one way or another, and that arguments could be part of the journey. So tempestuous communication or discussions can be had when this card is around. But again, the focal point of it is very temporary. So whatever happens, you're able to move on from it relatively quickly. And often when that's the case, it's because we have something else we are looking forward to going to or achieving or moving on to. So I think that would be the focal point, because these two really are the only kind of glitchy cards that have come out, but all these other ones are offering so much more strength and dominion and power, just like the Taurian energy, you know, the strength of the bull. So there's a lot of grounded strength in here, and there's a lot of major arcana energy that's coming out to represent your power, your strength, your dominion, and to represent having faith and believing and keeping on going. If we, that message that came out about sleep, the only thing I can think of in terms of that showing up at this point in time would be these two cards again, and they could be indicative of feeling as though you might need to sleep a bit more, especially if you have had a flu or been a bit worn down or something. Let's take a look at these cards. These are the fairies, magical messages from the fairies. They're quite nice cards to work with. This is for Taurus for November. Cool. Dietary change and do some research. So improve your diet and your life will also improve. I think that's, just good, wholesome advice for anyone. Do some research. You need more information about the situation. Look into it further before proceeding. So something that you are contemplating requires extensive due diligence. And I think we could feel that when we saw things like the authority coming in and the wisdom. When we apply wisdom or when we have wisdom on subject matter, then we know we've undertaken research. So it could be that you are growing or expanding in an area, and don't jump in too quickly. Make sure you do cover off the research. And if it is about signing documents or contracts or expanding on something or opening up or producing something yourself, and you need to go to lawyers or accountants or apply for loans, again, do research, because I think it will really benefit the situation that you're in. Some of you, there's something about your pets. There could even be something about a dog. Maybe some of you get a new dog, or you need to pay attention to your dog in the month of November. And it could be a cat as well, but I see the little white dog there and I think of dogs. Perfect timing, this is the right time for you to move forward. And we've seen that with the wish card or the fulfillment card. When you get cards that come out like this, they are giving you a very positive message about a future pathway and not lingering necessarily in the present, like making some plans of expansion, dreaming of what it is you desire and heading yourself in that direction. And it would appear that there are doors opening for that to happen. One more from here for Taurus for November. Oh, it dropped off the back. Vegetarian. This happened to someone else. I think they got both of these cards as well. So there's talk again for a lot of people about really looking after their bodies. And it makes sense because this year has been a difficult year. And I think we've all been put to the test mentally, physically, emotionally. And, emotionally and mentally, as well as spiritually, also drains the physical body. And it's really important for us to keep our physical bodies in the best way we can. So one last card to finish off your reading, and we will use, well, maybe more than one, we'll see. We will use these beautiful goddess cards. I think I have them upside down. It doesn't matter, they're an oracle deck. Two have come out. Sekhmet, be strong. You are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. I don't think there's any stronger in the astrological signs than yourself, the Taurens, the big bull, great grounded strength. Not just physical, but strength from an inner course, from an inner calling that if you need to, you can be resourceful and really pull on it. And this card is saying exactly that. Bridget, don't back down. Stand up for what you believe is right. And that comes back to my first saying, believe. That was one of them. And it said, have faith. And you're a leader. So there is something in here. If you're being challenged at any point for something, like it could be within your job, it might be your position within a family or a community or a project or anything, if you're being challenged and you know that the challenge is either unfair or biased, or that it's just catching you at the wrong moment, then you need to regain your strength, and you need to reground yourself, and you need to get that Taurian bull energy back up and running so that you don't back down, and stand up for what you believe is right, and utilize your strength to empower you to have, well, to have wisdom to enable you to get the fulfillment of your wishes. So there's a whole storyboard that's going on here, and you can put the cards in whatever format you like, but the story keeps coming out a little bit the same. Have faith and believe, and know that you're the leader. So there you are, Taurians, a really strong, positive reading for you. And we started the strength with the strongest card of the deck and the strongest part of the body, the base chakra. So again, if any of you have doubts of your strength, whether it be physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, or even financially, you know, bring this into your line of vision and feel into the power of this beautiful reading, and know that your strength is yours, and it can't really be taken from you either. So you can also utilize protection if you feel like your strength is being zapped, even at a psychic level, or through negative energies that you might have associated with, or if there are negative people around you. Call upon archangels for protection, especially Michael and Metatron. They're very powerful in offering great deep strength, and you can utilize them at any time throughout the month of November. And in fact, it makes me think of, I wonder if any of them will come out as a very quick shuffle from this deck, just to see for Taurus. Well, Gabriel came out, and I was talking about the archangels, so he's in the throat. So if any of you have lost your strength in speaking, or have felt that you haven't been able to be yourself and stand up to be yourself, you've got Archangel Gabriel helping you through the act of communication and speaking to gain some strength. So we probably don't need to pull any more, but I was thinking that there was angelic presence for you, and it is beautiful that Gabriel has come. And he holds the trumpet as well, which is very much like the judgment card, which in the traditional tarot holds the trumpet to the ear, and it's as if you hear, see, or speak something that you know to be your truth, and you aren't afraid to stand up and do it and move on and be it in strength. So there we are. Thank you all for joining the video. Thank you for subbing the channel and leaving your comments. Check your moon and rising signs as well, because these are beautiful readings for the month, and they give you all a degree of strength and protection every time you tune in. Much love, everyone. Namaste.